whole life is just a progression toward, and then a recession from one phrase, I love you. Either you think, or else others have to think for you and take power from you, pervert and discipline your natural tastes, civilize, and sterilize you. Everyone suspects himself of at least one of the cardinal virtues. At any rate, let us love for a while, for a year or so, you and me. That's a form of divine drunkenness that we can all try. There used to be two kinds of kisses. First, when girls were kissed and deserted. Second, when they were engaged. Now there's a third kind, where the man is kissed and deserted. No amount of fire or freshness can challenge what a man will store up in his ghostly heart. The idea that to make a man work you've got to hold gold in front of his eyes is a growth, not an axiom. We've done that for so long that we've forgotten there's any other way. Everybody's youth is a dream, a form of chemical madness. Genius goes around the world in its youth incessantly apologizing for having large feet. What wonder that later in life it should be inclined to raise those feet too swiftly to fools and bores. It is in the 30s that we want friends. In the 40s, we know they won't save us any more than love did. The man who arrives young believes that he exercises his will because his star is shining. The man who only asserts himself at 30 has a balanced idea of what willpower and fate of each contributed. The one who gets there at 40 is liable to put the emphasis on will alone. The compensation of very early success is a conviction that life is a romantic matter. In the best sense, one stays young. After all, life hasn't much to offer except youth, and I suppose for older people, the love of youth in others. At 18 our convictions are hills from which we look. At 45 they are caves in which we hide. No grand idea was ever born in a conference, but a lot of foolish ideas have died there. Optimism is the content of small men in high places. An idea ran back and forward in his head like a blind man knocking over the solid furniture. Forgotten is forgiven. You can stroke people with words. Nothing is as obnoxious as other people's luck. Action is character. Personality is an unbroken series of successful gestures. Sometimes it is harder to deprive oneself of a pain than of a pleasure. The test of a first-rate intelligence is the ability to hold two opposed ideas in the mind at the same time and still retain the ability to function. Riches have never fascinated me unless combined with the greatest charm or distinction. Family quarrels are bitter things. They don't go according to any rules. They're not like aches or wounds, they're more like splits in the skin that won't heal because there's not enough material. The easiest way to get a reputation is to go outside the fold, shout around for a few years as a violent atheist or a dangerous radical, and then crawl back to the shelter. It is sadder to find the past again and find it inadequate to the present than it is to have it elude you and remain forever a harmonious conception of memory. So we beat on, boats against the current, borne back ceaselessly into the past. The loneliest moment in someone's life is when they are watching their whole world fall apart and all they can do is stare blankly. That is part of the beauty of all literature. You discover that your longings are universal longings, that you're not lonely and isolated from anyone. You belong. Show me a hero, and I'll write you a tragedy. Whenever you feel like criticizing anyone, just remember that all the people in this world haven't had the advantages that you've had. It was only a sunny smile, and little it cost in the giving, but like morning light it scattered the night and made the day worth living. You don't write because you want to say something, you write because you have something to say. Cut out all these exclamation points. An exclamation point is like laughing at your own joke. There are all kinds of love in this world, but never the same love twice. I like people and I like them to like me, but I wear my heart where God put it, on the inside. Never confuse a single defeat with a final defeat. All good writing is swimming underwater and holding your breath. Boredom is not an end product, is comparatively rather an early stage in life and art. You've got to go by or pass through boredom, as through a filter, before the clear product emerges. Often I think writing is a sheer paring away of oneself, leaving always something thinner, barer, more meager. Writers aren't people exactly. Or, if they're any good, they're a whole lot of people trying so hard to be one person. It's like actors, who try so pathetically not to look in mirrors. Who lean backward trying, only to see their faces in the reflecting chandeliers.